What is going on, everybody? This is SStock21 welcoming you to my YouTube channel.
That's a pretty fancy intro you got right there, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
What is going on, everybody? This is SStock21 coming to you with yet another story time. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Today is my 19th birthday. I am 19. I believe it was official sometime around 7:20 this morning. I don't even know my own birth time. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I think that's kind of normal, but I believe I was in the morning, around 7 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, something like that. Whatever. I'm 19. Even if it's not till later tonight, I'm still 19. So, I'm going to talk about my birthday experiences. Not just this year, but throughout my whole life. So, most of my birthdays have been family birthdays. You know, you invite your grandparents and your uncle and your aunt and your neighbors because they're really close friends, and you'll have a little bit of a fun time. They all bring you gifts that you look at and go, oh, thanks. And then they go home and there you go. So that's what most of my birthdays have been, but there have been a couple of other parties. One of my parties was when I was a young kid. I believe I was 6 or 7 years old. It was back when I was in my private school, so I had a class of 8 people. So I invited all of them to go and bowl with me. So I went to a bowling alley with all of my friends from school, and we had a ton of fun. And I got a bowling pin still in my room to this day that's signed by everybody. So that's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that one. That one was really fun. But I am going to talk about the best birthday right now. Now, my best birthday experience was when I turned 16. I was talking to my mom. Oh, I'm 16. I'm not going to have a car. I'm not going to have a birthday party. Blah, 16 sucks. There's nothing fun, because I couldn't get my license until a couple of months later because I had to wait to take driver's ed for the next cycle and all that junk. So I had to wait, and I was really upset because I couldn't get a car and start driving on my 16th birthday, and I wasn't going to have a party because my mom said, oh, well, it's too expensive. We just can't do that right now. So, you know, we're just going to have a family party. So my brother's birthday is on the 20th. So shout out to him for turning 8 yesterday. But we had family come over on the 20th. I believe that was a Saturday. It was either that or it was a Friday. So the family came over and kind of did like a joint party. So he got gifts and I got gifts, and we had cake and we had some food, and we had family fun. There's really not much to it. But comes around, it's the 21st of January. I get a text in the morning from my friend that says, hey, do you want to go snowboarding at Brandywine? If you're not native to Ohio, you probably don't know what Brandywine is. It's 2 different places. It's Boston Mills and Brandywine. They're like across the road from each other, that are 2 different snowboarding, skiing, tubing, sledding places where they have beginner, intermediate, expert, advanced, trick, this, that, and the other crazy stuff. So my friend at the time worked there at Brandywine, so we got a discount. So like I got my snowboard rental for free and my boot rental at like 50% off, and my day pass was free because she could bring one other person and stuff like that. So I ended up paying like $15-20 to go snowboarding. So we went up there. It was pretty early in the morning because she said she wanted to go for a lot of the daytime because that's when the best snow was out. Well, it wasn't really all that snowy, but if you know places like that, they produce fake snow, so they're still covered and have the snow for you to snowboard on. She had a snowboard as well, which was pretty cool. We went and we started on the intermediate hill because I've been snowboarding before. I wasn't exactly a pro at it. I owned my own board, but to be honest, it was a snowboard that I got out of the trash. It had no boot bindings, so I made them out of duct tape, and I used it on the hills around my house. So it's not exactly an expert board. Yeah, so we got used to that. We went down that, I believe, twice. Got used to, going back and forth, the carving of the snow, how to stop at the end, how to not screw up and fall on your face, which was funny because she fell a couple of times on the intermediate hill, which was so much fun. So after that, we decided we're going to go to the big hill, and that was absolutely no problem. I did a couple of runs. There was one run where I just wanted to carve it out, get used to it. Actually, on that one, I was going pretty slow, so I ended up losing my speed, and I ended up going like into a fence that they had built on the right side because there were trees down there. So I had to like push off of a tree to finish the rest of my run. So that kind of sucked. But then the next one, I was like, all right, we're going to go speed, and then we're going to do a little bit of carving, and then speed, and then carving. So I did that, and that worked out pretty well. Then the next run I did all speed. So I got off the lift, I went down the hill, I hunkered down, I stayed low, I put my weight in the center, and I carved down that whole thing. And oh my God, was that the hardest thing to stop. What I had to do is, if you don't know how to stop when you're on a snowboard, is you have to kind of like lean back, and you need to like grind that bottom edge against the snow, and that's what slows you down. Well, I was going so fast because I literally did not try to carve. I did not try to slow down at all. So what I had to do is I had to lean back so far and dig that into the ground that I actually scraped up about 6 inches of snow for 20 feet just to stop. So the people there didn't really like me because they had to patch it. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was fun. So then the next run I decided I was going to get fancy. So what I did is I went down, and same thing like on a skateboard, you can just switch sides. So I'm right-handed, I'm right-footed, so my left foot leads. Well, I went down the hill, I carved, and I switched, and I went right foot lead. And then I went down that part of the hill, and I switched again, and I went left foot lead. And I went and I carved, and I went right foot. So I did that down the hill. And then I was doing a couple of spins and stuff, so like very quick change on what foot's leading. So I would go left, and then you lean forward and you pivot that. So you like push your one leg forward, and then you pivot that, and then you push your leg forward. So I was doing like 360s down the hill on a snowboard. I was actually impressing a lot of people, and it was like my first real snowboarding experience, which was pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. So we ended up snowboarding for a large portion of the day. We were there probably 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and we snowboarded until, I don't know, probably around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And she said that she wanted to get home because her foot hurt, because she was snowboarding a bunch and she fell a couple of times. She wasn't as good as I was. She had done skiing more, but she decided she was going to try to snowboard because that's what I'm used to. That's what I do. So she decided to snowboard, and she couldn't really get it all that much. So she kept on falling and having to pick herself back up, and then she'd fall again. She had a couple of runs where she'd get down to the bottom, so it's not like she was terrible. I mean, I'm not trying to knock her or anything, but she did fall. So she said she wanted to go back because her foot hurt. So, we returned our stuff. We took off our big heavy coats and all that junk, and we got in her car. She's actually driving a Jeep. I remember that because we threw all of the crap in the back end of her car, so it was pretty cool. We drove back to my house, which from Brandywine is about 45 minutes, so the drive was all right. And I got home, I opened up the door, and I heard, "Hey, come here, come help me," and it was my stepdad from downstairs, and my immediate thought was, oh my God, he dropped the weight bench on himself. Because we had gotten a weight machine with suspended weights, and you've got the pull down bar, and you got the leg thing, you got the butterfly thing. So we had that, and he was trying to get rid of it at the time. So I thought he was trying to move it out so he could give it to somebody, but he ended up dropping it on himself, and there were 200, 300 pounds of weights on that machine, so I thought he was trapped under 300 pounds of weight. So I was like, oh my God. So I threw my clothes off, I came running downstairs, and everyone screams, "Surprise!" And there's 30 people in my basement for a surprise party. It caught me off guard. It was crazy. I never expected it. I never saw it coming. And I should have, because my best friend and the friend I went to snowboard with asked me a couple of weeks prior, who I actually hang out with, who I talk to, who my best friends are, because they were trying to figure out who they were going to invite. So they ended up hacking into my Facebook account and seeing who I was talking to recently, who I've talked to the most, and all of that. So they ended up generating at least a decent list of people that I talked to. Some people I didn't talk to as much, but some people were pretty close friends of mine, and some people just couldn't make it. But it was really funny because I went downstairs, I yelled surprise, and I was so caught off guard. And the problem was, because of snowboarding, I was snowblind. So I basically was looking through a straw. So I had to look at everyone that was around, and I couldn't see anything just because the sun was reflecting off of the snow. And I didn't have goggles. I don't have goggles because I don't go out and snowboard all that often. So I don't need the goggles for it. So it made me kind of blind. So that was interesting. I go back upstairs, and my mom has already gotten clothes for me so I could change, because at the time I was wearing like some swishy pants. That way my legs wouldn't get wet. And I was wearing a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a t-shirt, 2 hoodies, and a jacket. So I took all of that off and I put some clothes on. And she's not really good at that whole giving me clothes that'll make me look good. So she picked out my biggest pair of pants. So they like fell down. I needed a belt. She picked out a blue t-shirt and then a blue dress shirt to wear over top of it. Holy crap, did the colors clash, because it was blue to blue to blue, and they were all different shades. So I ended up just putting that on, going down into my room, changing my pants, changing my shirt, getting rid of the dress shirt, and putting on a hoodie. So I looked all right. So then I enjoyed the rest of the night. We played some games. I don't know, we just had a ton of fun. We just hung out. We talked. We screwed with me, because that's what they do. They made me put lipstick on. Or no, lip gloss. Either way, that was bad. We had cake. We had food. We had a lot of food. It was really good. So, yeah. That's my best birthday I've ever had. My 16th surprise birthday party that I barely could see because I was snowblind. So, that wraps up today's story, guys. I will see you all next time. Have a great day, and be sure to be awesome. I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, click the video on the left to take you to the previous video. Click my speed drawing and the 3D question mark on the right to take you to a random video. And as always, be sure to hit the big red button down below to subscribe.